Welcome back to Liberty Coin History. Listen carefully, because today's video could completely change the way you look at the ordinary nickels hiding in your pocket, coin jar, or old family collection. If you have been spending Jefferson nickels without even looking at them, you might have been giving away hidden treasure without realizing it. These small 5-cent coins may seem ordinary, but some of them have become incredibly valuable because of rare minting errors, outstanding condition, or unique historical significance. Every year, collectors search through thousands of rolls of nickels hopping to discover one extraordinary coin that everyone else overlooked. That is exactly why you should never underestimate even the dirtiest-looking nickel. Before you spend another one, watch this entire video because today's first coin is the fascinating 1965 United States 5-cent coin, and its story may surprise you. The year 1965 was one of the most important years in modern American coinage. The United States Mint was dealing with an enormous coin shortage across the country. Millions of Americans were pulling coins out of circulation because the price of silver had increased, even though nickels contain no silver. To discourage collectors from hoarding coins, the Mint temporarily removed mint marks from circulating coins between 1965 and 1967. As a result, every genuine 1965 Jefferson nickel was struck without a mint mark. That simple detail often confuses new collectors, who mistakenly believe a missing mint mark makes every 1965 nickel rare. While most examples are common, there are special varieties and exceptional condition coins that are worth far more than 5 cents. At first glance, a 1965 Jefferson nickel looks almost identical to countless other nickels. On the front, you will find the familiar portrait of President Thomas Jefferson with the word Liberty and the date 1965. On the reverse is Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, which has become one of the most recognizable designs in American coin history. Millions of these coins pass through vending machines, grocery stores, banks, and cash registers every day. Because they were used so heavily, finding one in remarkable condition has become increasingly difficult over the decades. Many people assume that only old 19th century coins can be valuable, but the collecting world constantly proves otherwise. Some 1965 nickels have survived in nearly perfect condition after being stored away in rolls, original bank wrappers, or carefully protected collections. These pristine examples can command impressive prices because collectors compete fiercely for the finest known specimens. Professional grading services carefully examine every tiny scratch, mark, and detail before assigning a numerical grade, and even a single point difference can dramatically affect the coin's value. One of the biggest reasons collectors become excited about the 1965 nickel is the possibility of discovering a mint error. During production, mistakes occasionally occurred that created coins unlike any others. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, double dies, die cracks, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchet can transform an ordinary nickel into an extraordinary collectible. These fascinating errors are extremely scarce because strict quality control usually catches defective coins before they leave the mint. Whenever one slips into circulation, it becomes an exciting discovery for collectors. Condition is another factor that separates an ordinary 5-cent coin from a premium collectible. A heavily worn 1965 nickel that spent decades changing hands is usually worth only face value. However, a sharply struck coin with brilliant luster, minimal contact marks, and strong details can attract serious attention from advanced collectors. Features such as crisp hair details on Jefferson, fully defined steps on Monticello, and original mint surfaces all contribute to higher grades and stronger market demand. Some collectors spend years searching bank rolls hopping to uncover a hidden treasure. Imagine opening a roll of nickels from your local bank and spotting a bright 1965 coin that appears untouched despite being more than 60 years old. Stories like these continue to inspire hobbyists around the country. Although such discoveries are uncommon, they remind us that valuable coins can still appear in everyday circulation, estate sales, inherited collections, and forgotten jars sitting on shelves. Another interesting aspect of the 1965 nickel is how often it is overlooked. Because billions were produced, many people assume every example is worthless. That assumption causes countless coins to pass from hand to hand without anyone taking a closer look. Yet experienced collectors understand that rarity is not always about low mintage. Sometimes it is about exceptional preservation, unusual varieties, or rare production mistakes that only careful examination can reveal. If you own a 1965 nickel, examine it under good lighting with a magnifying glass. Look carefully for doubling in the lettering, unusual strike characteristics, dramatic die cracks, or anything that appears different from a normal coin. Check both sides carefully, because valuable errors may appear on either the obverse or reverse. Never clean the coin, even if it looks dirty. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surface and significantly reduce collector value. When collectors believe they have discovered something special, they often submit the coin to a professional grading service for authentication. Certification confirms whether the coin is genuine and accurately identifies any important varieties or mint errors. A certified high-grade example generally inspires greater confidence among buyers and may sell for considerably more than an uncertified coin. That extra assurance can make all the difference when a rare coin reaches the marketplace. Although most 1965 Jefferson nickels remain worth only 5 cents, the finest examples and legitimate mint errors have sold for hundreds, and sometimes even thousands of dollars depending on rarity, condition, and collector demand. Those remarkable sales demonstrate why knowledgeable collectors never dismiss an ordinary-looking coin without inspecting it first. Every detail matters, and patience often rewards those willing to learn the hobby. That is why the 1965 Jefferson nickel deserves the #1 spot in today's countdown. It represents a fascinating chapter in American coin history, a period of massive production changes, and the exciting possibility that an everyday pocket coin could hide something truly extraordinary. So before you spend another 5-cent piece, take a few extra seconds to examine it carefully. The next nickel you find may not simply buy a piece of candy. It could become the most exciting discovery in your entire collection. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list becomes even rarer, even more valuable, and even more unbelievable. Coin number 2 on today's countdown is the fascinating 1974 D. Jefferson nickel, one of the most overlooked 5-cent coins ever produced by the United States Mint. At first glance, this coin looks like nothing more than an ordinary pocket change nickel that millions of Americans spent on candy, newspapers, and everyday purchases during the 1970s. Because it is so common in circulation, most people never stop to examine it closely before handing it to a cashier or tossing it into a coin jar. But experienced collectors know that appearances can be deceiving. Hidden among the billions of normal 1974 D nickels are a handful of remarkable examples that have captured the attention of the numismatic world. Some feature rare minting errors, while others have survived for decades in astonishing condition, making them far more valuable than their face value. That is exactly why collectors continue searching through old collections, inherited jars of change, bank rolls, and estate sales hopping to uncover one of these overlooked treasures. Before you spend another 1974 D nickel, take a closer look because you could be holding a coin that tells an incredible story and may be worth far more than 5 cents. The 1974 D. Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located beside the date on the front of the coin. During that year, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of nickels to meet the nation's growing demand for circulating coinage. Although the production numbers were enormous, quantity does not always eliminate the possibility of rarity. Every large mintage creates opportunities for unusual striking mistakes, die varieties, and exceptional survivor coins that become increasingly desirable as time passes. Over the decades, most 1974 D nickels experienced heavy circulation, collecting countless scratches, dents, and signs of wear. As a result, finding a sharply struck example with brilliant original mint luster has become much more difficult than many people realize. Collectors understand that preserving a coin in nearly perfect condition for more than 50 years is no easy task, which is why premium quality examples often command impressive prices. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1974 D. Jefferson nickel is the possibility of discovering a genuine mint error. During the minting process, high-speed machinery occasionally produced mistakes that escaped inspection and entered circulation. These errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, doubled dies, broad strikes, struck-through errors, and other fascinating production anomalies that transform an ordinary nickel into a highly collectible piece. Because such mistakes occur by accident, no two error coins are exactly alike. Some errors are subtle and require magnification to identify, while others are dramatic enough to catch your attention immediately. Whenever collectors discover an authenticated error on a 1974 D nickel, interest increases significantly because these unusual pieces represent unique moments in the history of the United States Mint. That excitement keeps collectors searching through countless nickels year after year. Hoping luck will reward their patience. Condition is equally important when determining the value of a 1974 D. Jefferson nickel. Most examples found in circulation today show years of use, with worn details and dull surfaces that limit their collector value. However, a coin that still displays strong mint luster, crisp details, minimal contact marks, and especially sharp steps on the image of Monticello can become highly desirable. Professional grading services carefully evaluate every aspect of a coin's preservation before assigning a numerical grade, and even a single-point increase can dramatically affect market value. The finest known examples of the 1974 D nickel have attracted serious competition among advanced collectors because registry set participants constantly seek the best certified specimens available. This is why knowledgeable collectors always inspect every 1974 D nickel carefully, instead of assuming it is just another ordinary 5-cent coin. Sometimes the smallest details separate a common pocket coin from an exciting collectible worth many times its face value. Another feature that makes the 1974 D Jefferson nickel so interesting is the quality of its strike. During the minting process, every coin is created when tremendous pressure forces the metal planchet between two engraved dies. If the pressure is not perfectly balanced, or if the dies begin to wear, certain design details may appear weak or incomplete. Collectors pay especially close attention to the famous steps of Monticello on the reverse of the coin. A specimen showing fully defined, uninterrupted steps is known as a full steps nickel, and these examples are significantly scarcer than ordinary strikes. Even though millions of 1974 D nickels were produced, only a tiny percentage display this exceptional level of detail. Because of that rarity, collectors are willing to pay substantial premiums for beautifully preserved full steps examples, making them some of the most desirable Jefferson nickels from the decade. Many exciting discoveries begin in the most ordinary places. A forgotten coffee can in a garage, a dusty coin jar sitting on a bookshelf, a collection passed down from grandparents, or even a handful of change received from a local store could contain a remarkable 1974 D nickel waiting to be noticed. Stories like these inspire collectors around the country to keep searching because valuable coins often appear where people least expect them. Every year, hobbyists carefully examine thousands of nickels under magnification, checking for unusual doubling, striking errors, die varieties, or exceptional preservation. Most searches end with ordinary coins, but every now and then someone uncovers an incredible piece that changes the entire collection. Those unforgettable discoveries remind us that hidden treasures can still be found in everyday circulation if you have patience, knowledge, and a careful eye. If you happen to own a 1974 D Jefferson nickel, take a few moments to inspect it closely before spending it. Hold the coin under bright lighting and rotate it slowly while looking for anything unusual. Examine the lettering, the date, the mint mark, Jefferson's portrait, and the reverse image of Monticello. Look for signs of doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped edges, or any feature that appears different from a normal coin. Most importantly, resist the temptation to clean the coin. Many people believe cleaning improves a coin's appearance, but collectors know the opposite is usually true. Cleaning removes the original surface, creates fine scratches, and can permanently reduce both collector appeal and market value. Even a dirty nickel may be worth far more in its untouched original condition than after an attempt to polish it. As collectors continue building their Jefferson nickel collections, the finest examples of the 1974 D issue become increasingly difficult to locate. High-grade certified coins with brilliant luster, outstanding eye appeal, and sharply defined details remain in strong demand because they are much scarcer than most people realize. While the average circulated 1974 D nickel is still worth only its face value, exceptional coins and authenticated mint errors have sold for hundreds, and in some cases, even more depending on their rarity, condition, and collector demand. That is why experienced numismatists never overlook an ordinary-looking nickel. They understand that every coin has a story, and sometimes the most common-looking piece in your pocket can become the most exciting discovery in your collection. As the years continue to pass, the 1974 D Jefferson nickel becomes more than just another circulating coin from the 1970s. It represents a fascinating period in American history when billions of coins moved through the economy every single year, yet only a tiny number survived in extraordinary condition. Every scratch on a circulated example tells the story of countless transactions, while the few pristine survivors appear almost frozen in time. Collectors often spend decades upgrading their collections, searching for a single example with stronger luster, cleaner surfaces, or sharper details than the one they already own. That constant pursuit of perfection is what keeps the market for high-grade Jefferson nickels alive. Even though millions of people have handled a 1974 D nickel over the years, only a select few have ever discovered one worthy of becoming the centerpiece of a serious collection. Another reason this coin continues to attract attention is the excitement surrounding rare mint errors and unusual die varieties. Imagine looking through an old roll of nickels and suddenly noticing that one coin appears different from all the others. Perhaps the design is struck off-center, perhaps the lettering shows dramatic doubling, or maybe the coin was struck through a foreign object during production. Discoveries like these have thrilled collectors for generations because every genuine error coin is a reminder that even the most advanced manufacturing process is not perfect. These mistakes escaped the mint's quality control and entered circulation, where they waited for decades until a sharp-eyed collector finally recognized their importance. That possibility is what makes searching pocket change so exciting, because no one knows where the next remarkable discovery will appear. If you believe you have found an exceptional 1974 D Jefferson nickel, take the time to protect it properly. Hold the coin only by its edges to avoid leaving fingerprints on the surface, and store it in a protective holder designed for coins. Avoid polishing, scrubbing, or using chemicals to improve its appearance, because doing so can permanently damage the original finish that collectors value. If the coin appears to have an unusual error or is in exceptionally high grade, consider having it examined and authenticated by a respected professional grading service. Authentication not only confirms that the coin is genuine, but also provides an official grade that can greatly increase buyer confidence. Many valuable coins have been overlooked simply because their owners never realized what they had, so a careful examination could reveal something truly extraordinary hiding in your collection. That brings us to the end of coin number 2 in today's countdown, the remarkable 1974 D. Jefferson nickel. While most examples are worth only 5 cents, the finest certified specimens, full steps coins, and genuine mint errors remind us that even an ordinary-looking nickel can become a highly desirable collectible. The lesson is simple: never judge a coin by its appearance alone. The next time you receive change from a store, empty a piggy bank, or inherit an old collection, take a few moments to inspect every nickel carefully. You never know when one small 5-cent coin could turn into the most exciting discovery of your collecting journey. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list is even rarer, even more mysterious, and could reveal a hidden fortune that most people would never recognize before spending it. Coin number 3 on today's countdown is the 1975 Jefferson nickel, another ordinary-looking 5-cent coin that many people spend every single day without giving it a second thought. At first glance, there seems to be nothing unusual about this United States coin. It features the familiar portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the front and the historic Monticello building on the reverse. Millions of Americans carried these nickels in their pockets during the mid-1970s, using them for everyday purchases, without realizing that some examples would one day become highly collectible. While most 1975 nickels remain worth only their face value, certain high-grade specimens, rare mint errors, and unusual varieties have attracted the attention of serious collectors and sold for impressive amounts. That is why experienced numismatists never ignore a 1975 Jefferson nickel, no matter how common it appears. Every coin deserves a careful inspection, because the smallest detail can make the biggest difference. The year 1975 was an important period for the United States Mint, as billions of circulating coins were produced to meet the growing demand of the American economy. Jefferson nickels dated 1975 were struck for everyday commerce and quickly entered circulation across the country. Most examples became heavily worn after years of use in cash registers, vending machines, and countless daily transactions. Because these coins circulated for decades, finding one today with brilliant original mint luster and almost no signs of wear is much more difficult than many people expect. Collectors are constantly searching for outstanding examples because high-grade survivor coins become scarcer every year. The better the condition, the stronger the demand, especially when the coin displays sharp details and attractive eye appeal. One of the most exciting reasons collectors search for the 1975 Jefferson nickel is the possibility of discovering a genuine mint error. Although the United States Mint maintains strict quality control, mistakes occasionally escape into circulation. Some 1975 nickels have been found with off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, struck through errors, and other unusual production mistakes. These fascinating errors are created during the minting process and cannot be reproduced later, making each genuine example unique. Because error coins are far scarcer than normal issues, collectors are often willing to pay significant premiums for authenticated pieces. Finding one hidden among ordinary pocket change is every coin hunter's dream, and that possibility keeps thousands of collectors searching through rolls of nickels every year. Another feature that makes the 1975 Jefferson nickel desirable is exceptional strike quality. Collectors carefully examine the reverse of the coin, especially the famous steps leading to Monticello. Coins displaying strong, uninterrupted full steps are much more difficult to find because even slight die wear or weak striking pressure can blur these tiny details. When a 1975 nickel combines full steps, brilliant luster, and an exceptionally high grade, it becomes one of the finest survivors from its year of issue. Registry collectors compete intensely for these premium quality examples, sometimes paying hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. That is why every 1975 Jefferson nickel deserves a second look before it disappears back into circulation. One of the greatest thrills in coin collecting is knowing that remarkable discoveries can still happen today, and the 1975 Jefferson nickel is a perfect example. Imagine opening an old family coin jar that has not been touched for decades, or receiving a handful of change from a neighborhood grocery store, only to notice a bright 1975 nickel that looks almost brand new. While most people would simply spend it without another thought, an experienced collector immediately begins looking for sharp details, original mint luster, and any unusual features that could separate it from the millions of ordinary examples. Stories like these continue to inspire collectors because valuable coins are often found in the most unexpected places. Hidden treasures do not always come from expensive auctions or museum collections. Sometimes they are waiting quietly inside an old piggy bank, a forgotten drawer, or a dusty box tucked away in an attic, waiting for someone with a careful eye to recognize their true importance. If you own a 1975 Jefferson nickel, take a few moments to inspect it under good lighting. Carefully examine the date, Jefferson's portrait, the lettering, the rim, and every detail on the reverse. Look closely at Monticello, paying special attention to the steps and other fine design elements. Search for unusual doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped edges, or anything that appears different from a normal coin. Even the smallest abnormality could indicate an interesting mint error. One of the biggest mistakes new collectors make is cleaning their coins before showing them to an expert. Although a shiny coin may appear more attractive, cleaning removes the original surface and often leaves tiny scratches that permanently reduce collector value. Even a dirty or toned 1975 nickel can be worth much more if it remains in its untouched original condition. Professional grading plays an important role in determining the value of outstanding 1975 Jefferson nickels. Expert grading services carefully evaluate every coin, examining its luster, strike quality, preservation, and overall eye appeal before assigning an official grade. That grade can make an enormous difference in market value. A coin with only lightware may sell for a modest premium, while an almost perfect mint state example with full steps can attract intense competition from advanced collectors building top-ranked registry sets. These collectors are always searching for the finest known examples, and when one appears on the market, strong bidding can drive prices much higher than most people expect. This is one reason why high-grade Jefferson nickels continue to attract attention from collectors throughout the United States. The popularity of the 1975 Jefferson nickel proves that valuable collectibles are not always ancient or made from precious metals. Sometimes an ordinary 5-cent coin can become highly desirable simply because of its exceptional condition, rare mint error, or outstanding strike quality. Every year, collectors search thousands of bank rolls hopping to uncover that one extraordinary coin everyone else overlooked. Most searches end with ordinary nickels, but every so often someone makes an exciting discovery that reminds the entire collecting community why patience and knowledge are so important. That possibility keeps the excitement alive and encourages collectors of every age to continue examining every nickel that passes through their hands. Stay with us, because the next part of this countdown reveals even more surprising facts about the remarkable 1975 Jefferson nickel and why it remains one of the most searched for modern 5-cent coins. As the years continue to pass, the 1975 Jefferson nickel becomes increasingly fascinating to collectors because time naturally reduces the number of high-quality survivors. Every coin that remains in circulation picks up scratches, nicks, and wear, making pristine examples much scarcer than when they first left the United States Mint. Many collectors spend years searching through bank rolls and inherited collections, hopping to discover a 1975 nickel with brilliant original luster, razor-sharp details, and beautifully preserved surfaces. Finding such a coin is like opening a small window into the past, allowing collectors to see the coin almost exactly as it appeared on the day it was struck. That sense of history and preservation is one of the reasons why Jefferson nickels continue to grow in popularity among both beginner and advanced collectors. Another exciting aspect of the 1975 Jefferson nickel is the possibility that an undiscovered treasure is still waiting to be found. Throughout the history of American coin collecting, remarkable discoveries have appeared in the most unexpected places. Valuable coins have been recovered from old dresser drawers, forgotten piggy banks, estate sales, garage sales, and even loose change received from everyday purchases. Because millions of people never examine their nickels closely, rare mint errors and exceptional high-grade examples can remain hidden for decades before someone finally recognizes their importance. Every time a collector searches through a roll of nickels, there is a sense of excitement and anticipation, because the next coin could be the one that stands out from all the rest. That possibility is what makes coin collecting such a rewarding and enjoyable hobby for people of all ages. If you believe your 1975 Jefferson nickel looks unusual or appears to be in exceptional condition, handle it with great care. Always hold the coin by its edges to avoid fingerprints, and place it in a protective coin holder to prevent further damage. Never polish, clean, or attempt to improve its appearance, because original surfaces are highly valued by collectors. If you suspect the coin has a genuine mint error or an unusually high grade, consider having it authenticated and graded by a respected professional grading service. Authentication provides confidence that the coin is genuine, while the official grade helps determine its place in the collector market. Sometimes a coin that seems ordinary at first glance can become a prized collectible once its rarity and condition are properly recognized. That concludes coin number 3 in today's countdown, the impressive 1975 Jefferson 5-cent coin of the United States of America. Although the vast majority of these nickels are worth only face value, the finest certified examples, rare full-step specimens, and authentic mint errors have shown that this ordinary-looking coin can become an extraordinary collectible. The lesson is simple: never ignore the change in your pocket, because history has proven that valuable discoveries often begin with the coins people overlook every day. Before you spend your next Jefferson nickel, take a few extra seconds to inspect it carefully. You never know when a simple 5-cent coin could become the hidden treasure that transforms your collection. And don't go anywhere, because the next coin in our countdown is even rarer, even more mysterious, and may reveal a surprise that will completely change the way you look at pocket change forever. Coin number 4 on today's countdown is the 1977 Jefferson 5-cent coin of the United States of America, a dirty old nickel that countless people have ignored for decades. At first glance, this worn coin may look like nothing more than an ordinary piece of pocket change with faded details, scratches, and years of circulation. Many people would toss it into a jar, spend it at a vending machine, or leave it sitting at the bottom of a drawer without ever giving it a second look. But experienced coin collectors know that appearances can be incredibly misleading. Some of the most valuable discoveries in numismatic history have started with dirty, worn coins that everyone else overlooked. That is why you should never judge a coin by its appearance alone. Hidden among millions of ordinary 1977 Jefferson nickels are rare mint errors, exceptional high-grade survivors, and unusual varieties that have captured the attention of collectors around the world. Before you spend another old nickel, make sure you inspect it carefully, because the next hidden treasure could already be in your pocket. The 1977 Jefferson nickel was produced for everyday circulation during a time when Americans depended heavily on cash for daily purchases. Millions of these coins traveled through grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations, banks, and vending machines, passing from one person to another countless times. Because they were used so heavily, most surviving examples now show significant wear, dull surfaces, and countless contact marks. Finding a 1977 nickel that still displays brilliant original mint luster and sharp design details has become increasingly difficult over the years. Collectors understand that every year of circulation reduces the number of premium quality survivors, making beautifully preserved examples much scarcer than their original production numbers might suggest. This is why condition plays such an important role when determining collector value. One of the biggest reasons collectors continue searching for the 1977 Jefferson nickel is the possibility of finding a genuine mint error. Although the United States Mint follows strict production standards, occasional mistakes escaped into circulation. These fascinating errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, broad strikes, struck-through errors, doubled dies, and other unusual manufacturing mistakes. Every authentic error coin tells a unique story because no two minting accidents are exactly alike. Some errors are easy to recognize immediately, while others require careful examination under magnification. Whenever collectors discover an authenticated 1977 error nickel, excitement quickly spreads because these unusual pieces are far scarcer than normal circulation coins and often command strong interest from buyers. Another feature that attracts advanced collectors is exceptional strike quality. The reverse of every Jefferson nickel displays Monticello, the historic Virginia home of President Thomas Jefferson. Serious collectors carefully examine the famous steps leading to the building because sharply defined, uninterrupted steps indicate an outstanding strike. These full steps, examples, are much more difficult to find than ordinary coins because even slight die wear or weak striking pressure can blur the smallest design details. When a 1977 Jefferson nickel combines full steps, brilliant original luster, and a nearly perfect mint state grade, it becomes one of the most desirable examples from the year. That is why knowledgeable collectors carefully inspect every 1977 nickel they encounter instead of assuming it is worth only 5 cents. One of the most exciting things about the 1977 Jefferson nickel is that valuable discoveries can still happen today. Every week, collectors search through bank rolls, inherited collections, estate sales, flea markets, and forgotten coin jars, hoping to uncover a special example that everyone else has missed. Imagine reaching into an old box of loose change and finding a dirty 1977 nickel covered with years of dust and circulation marks. Most people would simply spend it without another thought, but an experienced collector would immediately begin examining the date, lettering, mint mark if present, and every tiny design detail. Hidden beneath decades of wear could be a rare variety or an unusual mint error that transforms an ordinary-looking coin into a prized collectible. These unexpected discoveries continue to inspire collectors because they prove that hidden treasures can still be found in everyday places. If you own a 1977 Jefferson nickel, take a few minutes to examine it carefully under bright lighting. Use a magnifying glass to inspect Jefferson's portrait, the date, the lettering, the rim, and the reverse image of Monticello. Look closely for doubling on the letters or numbers, die cracks running through the design, clipped edges, off-center strikes, or any unusual feature that separates the coin from a normal example. Small differences can sometimes make a very big difference in collector value. One of the most important rules in coin collecting is never to clean an old coin. Even though a dirty nickel may seem unattractive, collectors generally prefer original surfaces because they preserve the coin's history. Cleaning can permanently damage the surface, reduce eye appeal, and significantly lower the value of a collectible coin. Professional grading is another reason why some 1977 Jefferson nickels become far more valuable than others. Grading experts carefully examine every coin for wear, luster, strike quality, and overall preservation before assigning an official numerical grade. Even a 1-point increase in grade can dramatically affect the coin's market value, especially for modern nickels in outstanding condition. Collectors building registry sets compete for the highest graded examples available, creating strong demand for exceptional coins. A beautifully preserved 1977 Jefferson nickel with outstanding eye appeal and sharply defined full steps can become a centerpiece in an advanced collection. This ongoing competition is one reason premium quality Jefferson nickels continue to attract attention from collectors throughout the United States. Although the average dirty 1977 Jefferson nickel found in circulation is still worth only 5 cents, the finest certified examples and genuine mint errors remind us that extraordinary value can sometimes hide inside the most ordinary-looking coins. That is why experienced collectors never ignore an old nickel simply because it appears worn or dirty. Every coin deserves a careful inspection before being spent, because remarkable discoveries often begin with the pieces that everyone else overlooks. As more time passes, the 1977 Jefferson nickel continues to gain attention among collectors because truly outstanding examples become harder to find every year. Most of these coins spent decades in circulation, passing through thousands of hands and accumulating scratches, worn details, and faded surfaces. Every year, fewer high-grade examples remain untouched, making well-preserved coins increasingly desirable. Collectors often search through hundreds of rolls of nickels before finding one that still displays brilliant original mint luster, crisp lettering, and sharply struck details. That challenge is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. The possibility that an ordinary-looking 1977 nickel could still be hiding in circulation encourages collectors to keep searching, knowing that patience and knowledge can sometimes lead to an unforgettable discovery. Another fascinating part of the 1977 Jefferson nickel story is the number of surprising discoveries made by everyday people. There have been collectors who found valuable coins inside inherited collections, forgotten piggy banks, garage sale purchases, and even in change received from local stores. Many of these discoveries happened simply because someone decided to examine an old coin instead of spending it immediately. A dirty coin should never be dismissed without a careful inspection. Beneath years of natural tunning and circulation marks could be a rare mint error, an exceptional strike, or a beautifully preserved example that escaped heavy wear. Every old nickel has its own journey, and sometimes that journey ends with a remarkable discovery that surprises even experienced collectors. If you believe your 1977 Jefferson nickel may be something special, protect it carefully from further damage. Always handle the coin by its edges and place it inside a protective coin holder rather than leaving it loose where it can be scratched. Avoid polishing or cleaning the surface because original condition is one of the most important qualities collectors look for. If the coin appears to have an unusual mint error or is in exceptional condition, consider having it authenticated and graded by a respected professional grading service. Authentication confirms the coin's originality and provides an official grade that collectors can trust. Many coins that once seemed ordinary have become valuable simply because someone took the time to recognize their unique characteristics and preserve them properly. That concludes coin number 4 in today's countdown, the 1977 Jefferson 5-cent coin of the United States of America. Although most examples remain worth only their face value, the finest mint state specimens, full steps examples, and authentic mint errors prove that even a dirty old nickel can become an exciting collectible. The next time you receive change, empty an old coin jar, or discover a forgotten collection, don't rush to spend your nickels without looking at them first. One careful inspection could reveal a hidden treasure that has gone unnoticed for decades. Thank you for watching Liberty Coin History. If you enjoyed today's countdown, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another incredible story about rare coins that could be hiding in your pocket chain.